Yes, I can, Paul. Thank you very much for the intro. And welcome, everyone. It's once again our pleasure to be with you on this Thursday evening. As always, we know we like this opportunity to share with you some of the thoughts we have and the knowledge we may have about the products and how to recommend them to the people you come across. For a long time now, I have not done I've not answered the questions that I've been receiving. I do try to answer the questions as frequently as I can to the individuals that send them. But every now and then, I think it's a good thing for us to visit some of the questions that I frequently receive, just so that in case someone out there maybe has not thought of asking them, they may still benefit from it. And if someone has asked and maybe has not received an answer, you can get the answer now. So straight away, one of the frequent questions that I receive is for diabetes type 2, which we know that is one of our public enemy number one diseases, because it is one that can actually be prevented and be reversed, and the people suffering from it can actually go on to live a healthy life. We also know that this illness causes a great deal of damage to the body and progressively robs the person suffering from it of so many of the faculties. We know that some of them, we know that the blood sugar is not easily controlled. And one of the leading causes of kidney disease and kidney failure is actually diabetes. We know that diabetes can also lead to blindness. It can lead to sores that do not heal. It also reduces the immunity so that one becomes an easy prey for different diseases. And so for that reason, we are very much interested in passing on the message about how our products can help and how lifestyle changes can help us to get rid of this illness, if it is in our lives or in those around us. So we have the products that we can recommend for type 2 diabetes is Botanical Balance, which helps in maintaining correct sugar balance in the body. We have Tree&N, which ensures that the cells are functioning correctly and can respond to insulin. And we also have fiber tablets, which helps in the metabolization of sugar so that it does not rush into the blood too quickly. And we also have omega-3 salmon oil that we recommend to help fight the inflammation that is associated with this illness. We also recommend certain lifestyle changes, for example, the elimination of junk food and processed foods, and an increase in natural foods, to watch especially for the quality of carbohydrates that we take in, the amount as well as the quality. We opt for natural carbohydrates, which are not at all processed, because they are better metabolized by our bodies. Healthy fats also have got a role to play in the diet of a diabetic. Another thing that helps is to increase the level of activity. It does not have to be vigorous activity, but it should be regular. For example, going for a walk a number of times a week, because this helps us to be more sensitive to the effects of insulin, and therefore helps the body to manage the sugar correctly. So that was diabetes type 2. And unfortunately, this illness is becoming more and more common even in our continent. And we know that many of our countries are not really in a position to give the long-term care that an illness like diabetes requires. Therefore, it is really, really important for us to be on the lookout. If we have got symptoms of pre-diabetes or we have a family history of diabetes, we should be on the lookout and already start taking the measures to protect ourselves from developing this illness. Then another question that I received was about the Protoguard process. The Protoguard process is a process which is used in the making of our protein shakes, for example, NutriShake or Neolife Shake. Its purpose is to help preserve the high quality of our protein shakes, and therefore the processes take place in a room with very low temperatures and no oxygen, and the process is fully automated, because obviously if there is no oxygen in the room, it means that we'll prevent the spoilage of the proteins, but also people cannot be in such a room. So the process is fully automated, and this ensures us that our protein shakes are of the highest quality, because the proteins have been extracted and formulated in a way that protects that quality. So that is the Protoguard system, process, which is the process that we use for making our protein shakes and puts it a cut above the rest. Then another question I received was about someone who's had a stroke. Again, we always recommend that we do prevention rather than to cure. And once a stroke has already happened, it is too late to do anything about it. The best that we can do is to help the body to heal of the after effects of the stroke, as well as to prevent any recurrence, because sometimes a stroke can recur since the problem that causes it is still within the body. So the products that we recommend for the use by stroke patients is lipotropic adjunct, which we know is very good for blood health, vitamin E, which helps in preventing recurrence of a stroke, as well as Provitality. And Provitality, we know, comprises of 4 products, which is carotenoid complex, which is an antioxidant. It also has threonine, it has multi, and it has omega-3 salmon oil. So with those products, we can assist the stroke sufferer to heal as well as to prevent recurrence. But as I've said, if you have a family history of these cardiovascular illnesses, it is important that we pass the message to others and also to ourselves to prevent rather than to cure. Okay, then the other question I got was about enteric coating, which is a process that is used for the making of some of our supplements. For example, garlic allium complex, which is a capsule that is enterically coated, and is a process that makes sure that the contents of the capsule are protected from the high acid of the stomach and the possibility of being broken down by it. Because if the garlic allium is released in the stomach, it's going to be destroyed by the acidity and will never reach the places where it can be absorbed and used by the body. So the enteric coating protects the contents of the capsule until it reaches the lower parts of the gut, for example, the lower parts of the small intestine, where it will be better absorbed and in a usable form that can profit the body. So that is the enteric coating. It's used in a number of even medicines, but one of the products in relation to which I was asked a question was garlic allium. And that is why, for example, if you want the effects of garlic allium, it's not the same taking the supplement as adding garlic to your food. Because remember, if you put garlic in your food, it's going to be cooked and then it's going to be digested in the stomach acids, which means that whatever will be absorbed will not really be of use as the garlic allium phytonutrient that you require. So for that reason, the supplement is actually more beneficial. Of course, garlic itself has got many benefits. It's not to say that it does not have benefits, but if, for example, you want it for blood health, then I think you get better effect by using the garlic allium complex rather than entrusting yourself to the garlic in your food. Okay, then a question that a request that I've received many times and I will try to go into, but not in a lot of detail, is to give a testimony about sickle cell anemia. As many of you who have been in the business for a while and have attended these trainings or presentations, you know that we have got 4 sons, one of whom has sickle cell anemia and who is now going to be 30 years quite soon. He is 20, is it 29? He's 29 years old now, sorry, I forget. And of course, this is a very challenging illness. It's a genetic illness, which means you inherit the genes, the gene that is responsible from each of your parents. And if you have, the parents donate both of that gene, then you get the condition called sickle cell anemia. It's good to clarify that it's not the anemia where you are short of iron. It's actually the anemia is as a result of the fact that the red blood pigment is defective, the hemoglobin is defective, and so it gets easily damaged, and that means that the red blood cells get easily damaged and live for a short time. The illness is also quite painful and can actually cause a lot of hospitalization and a lot of distress to both the sufferer and the family. However, just to give a short testimony, because I'm sure you've heard this story before, probably from Pascal. Our son is now 29 years old, and when we joined the business, he was still a little boy. And one of the things that I'm really very thankful for from Neolife is that it gave us the opportunity to get to know about how important lifestyle is to the benefit of illnesses which have no cure. And the supplements also have played a very important role for him. It made it possible, first of all, for me to be a full-time mom, to be available when he was sick and needed my help and attention. Many times it would be that I would have to be with him in hospital. And of course, that meant that it was unlikely that if I had a regular job that I would get all the leave time that I would require, especially in the early years when he was very sick and still very young and needed a lot of help. And because the illness is not very well known in Southern Africa, it was often necessary for me to be there in order for him to get the care that he required. So for that, I've always been and always will be thankful for the Neolife opportunity, because it made that possible for us to be available as parents for this young man. It also made it possible for us to help him by using the supplements. And just to say, the supplement that he uses very regularly are Provitality, vitamin B complex, and zinc. And when he has had a crisis or is recovering from a crisis, we also add flavonoids. He takes other supplements now and then. So, for example, lipotropic adjuncts, and sometimes because he suffers from nausea as a result of some of his medication, he can use aloe vera plus for that. And another thing that is very important for sickle cell anemia is to maintain hydration. So he needs to drink plenty, especially of water and bone broth and such things. And then because of also this challenge, he needs a lot of immune support. So he will often, especially now since the pandemic, where he regularly takes vitamin C, in addition to the other supplements. Also, the powerful pain management medicines that he takes makes it necessary for him to occasionally take Betaguard, just to help him to detox from those drugs. So just to say that I think we had another forum in which we spoke to parents of sickle cell children, and Felix, our son, was able to talk to some of those parents and to share with them the fact that they should not lose hope and they should do their best for their children, because you can improve the quality of life of the sufferer of sickle cell by being there, by providing the supplements and the support and care that they require. And so even though there is no cure, there is much that we can do to make the life of someone with sickle cell quite good. Our son has been able to finish school, and in fact went all the way to university and is now working. And so I just want to encourage all those out there who either are parents of sickle cell children, or who have sickle cell themselves, or who have someone in their circle of influence who is dealing with sickle cell, to not give up hope. Because I remember in my own case, when our son was diagnosed, we knew very little about the illness, and it was also not well known in Southern Africa where we were living at that time. And I would really have appreciated to have someone just to say a word of encouragement and to give us hope that it was not a complete disaster and a loss. And so I think that will be my bit about sickle cell, and just to once again encourage all those who are encountering this challenge to keep on and do your best while the child or the young adult is still with you, so that you can give them the best that you can as long as they are with you. Then I have another question of whether there is any difference between taking a complex supplement or the single supplement. So, for example, the vitamin like vitamin B has got many members of the family. I think there are more than 12. And someone wanted to know if they can just take a specific vitamin B that they feel they need, or they should take the B complex. And as you know, in our own range of supplements, we have complexes, of which vitamin B complex is one. And the reason why the company has presented it this way as a vitamin B complex rather than the individual members of the family is that in many cases, it's found that these vitamins work together as a family or as a team. And you know that the word team means together everyone achieves more. So if you take the complex of the vitamin or the phytonutrient, then they work together and you get greater benefits because they are synergists. That is, they support each other in their function rather than to just take one. And also in nature, they do not occur as just isolated vitamins here and there. They tend to occur as a family. So for that reason, just as the Neolife presentation is, we have many vitamins as complexes. So there's the B complex, which was the one the question was about. But we've got things like the flavonoid complex, which is made of the family of flavonoids. We have the carotenoid complex, which is also made of the family of carotenoids. So it is a better option if someone should ask you if maybe they want maybe the vitamin B that they have had helps the hair to grow. Then you should explain to them why it is better to take the full B complex because they'll get the entire family and it works better that way. Then another question that I frequently receive is one about collagen supplements. I know that there is a lot about this in the internet and people are talking about its wondrous effects. And this is all well and good, because of course collagen is the stuff from which our connective tissue is made. But we have to remember that we do not absorb protein the way we eat it. So for example, if I eat a beef steak, I'm not going to absorb it as a beef steak. It's going to be broken down into amino acids. And then I will absorb the amino acids and use those amino acids to build what my body sees that it needs. So even if I take the collagen supplements, what is going to happen is that I'm going to break it down into its individual amino acids, and then once they have been absorbed, they are going to be used to rebuild whatever my body requires. So for example, if I'm in need of making collagen, then I will not absorb the collagen that is in the supplement. My body will use the amino acids I get to make the collagen. So for that reason, I want to caution against rushing after some of these crazes that we have now and then that become very fashionable on the internet, and then everybody is talking about them. And sometime down the line, they are forgotten and we move on to the next thing. You know, the way they're always talking about superfoods and then magic supplements and all this. But what Neolife has done is that our Neolife shakes and NutriShakes and the sports complex shake, all these have got the full range of amino acids that your body requires in order to make everything that it needs. You will get, of course, from your diet, but by supplementing with your Neolife shake or your NutriShake, you are going to get whatever might be not adequate from your diet. And that way you'll be able to make the collagen, if that is what is at the forefront of your body's needs. You'll be able to make your hair and so on. Then, do you want to check this question? Hands raised. Then another question that I got, for which I didn't have a very good answer, is someone said that a client of theirs suffered from, okay, I'll go on to that. Okay, I see there is a question about the sickle cell, so I'll go back to that just now. So let me just finish the point I was making, that some people one or two people complained that someone to whom they gave chelated zinc had the stomach upset. And so I would just say that maybe they can start by lowering the dose and taking it together with food. They may have a specific sensitivity to this, but if this fails to have the desired effect, then they may need to discontinue it, because then if they are sure that it is the chelated zinc that is causing the stomach upset, then either to reduce the dose or to discontinuing it if the reduced dose is not effective. Then someone asked whether our son is cured of sickle cell. No, he has not been cured. He is under good management for it, and he lives with it, but he has not been cured because there is no cure except for a bone marrow transplant, of which you require a perfect match. We attempted this at some years ago when he got a match, because in our family he does not have a 100% match, but his body rejected the bone marrow, and so he continues to still have the illness, but he does live with it and do his best to live his life and work at his job to the best of his ability. And yeah, then okay, I will just advise you to maybe send some of these questions directly to me, because I shall not be able to answer all of them, because as you already see, I only have 5 minutes left. So there was another person who had, I think this must have been Hansi, who gave a testimony about his son who has got cerebral palsy. Hansi is our upline sponsor, and he is the one who did the presentation on the night that I first heard about the Neo-Life opportunity. And I identified very much with his story, because he spoke about their son and how much he appreciated the business, because it provided them with the finances, it provided them with the products, and it provided them with the time freedom to look after their child. So as a result of his presentation and his testimony about his child, I also was very much touched, because it was a story that very much identified with what we were going through at that time. So cerebral palsy is a movement illness that comes as a result of some problems with brain development before the child is born usually. There is no cure for it, although there are some supplements can help, and physiotherapy can also help to try to improve movement and to improve flexibility. And from our upline sponsor, Lydia Cronier, who was also very supportive over the years with us for our business and our situation. She says that for their son, they use omega-3 salmon oil, multimineral alfalfa, acidophilus, and vitamin B complex. And these have not cured the illness, but they help to give him to improve the quality of his life, as well as to alleviate some of the symptoms of his illness. Then another question I had was about erectile dysfunction. And here, this can be due to a number of causes, including stress. Also, certain medications can cause erectile dysfunction. For example, if someone is on medication for high blood pressure, the high blood pressure medication reduces the blood pressure everywhere, including to the male sexual organ, which means that it can interfere with the ability to get or maintain an erection. So if one is under some of these medications, or if you are on some medication, you should ask your doctor if they have that effect. If you have stress, of course, you know that we are always recommending that we find ways to resolve the stressors in our life, so that we are able to not have to deal with chronic stress. On the side of the supplements, what we recommend to help with erectile dysfunction is the masculine herbal complex, which is a herbal preparation that supports the male reproductive system. We also recommend chelated zinc, which is very essential for this, because men especially have a great need for zinc in their diet, and if they are deficient, one of the effects could be erectile dysfunction. And then another supplement that they can take is Amitone, which has got a preparation of amino acids. And of course, they can also use Neo-Life Shake or NutriShake, depending on what is in your market. They should also ensure enough protein in their diet, because as you know, sperm and hormones usually are made using the protein foods. So then another question, I think this will have to be the last one, is high blood pressure during pregnancy. And this is actually a dangerous condition, which one should have the care of a doctor, because it can escalate very quickly. It was previously called eclampsia or pre-eclampsia. And one of the things we recommend is that someone who has got a history of high blood pressure, or a family history of high blood pressure, when they are expecting, they should buy blood pressure monitor so that they're able to monitor their blood pressure. In case it suddenly surges, they would need urgent hospitalization to prevent disastrous consequences. So on the Neolife side, we would recommend that an expectant mother who wants to take care of their blood pressure is to use ProVitality, vitamin B complex, as well as multimineral. These are multimineral and vitamin B complex usually are recommended as prenatal supplements anyway. But in addition to that, omega-3, which is in ProVitality, is also recommended. But at the same time, as I've said, it is important to be vigilant in case the blood pressure gets out of hand. The person should be urgently taken to hospital because it can have serious consequences. I think that my time is up. And so I know that there have been quite a number of questions and raised hands, which I have not been able to attend to. So I will apologize and just encourage you to feel free to send me the question personally or to my cell phone number, which I think Paul or Pascal will provide you. And that way I'll be able to answer. And when I see a question that is regularly being asked, I will include it in the next Q&A. I want to thank you very much for your time this evening and to wish you, I know that we are at month's end, so we have got very many concerns in our minds and in our PV and in our teams. I want to encourage you very much to do your best and to keep the hope up and to remember that your goal is yours and you will achieve it. And if you are struggling, keep on the struggle because good things come as a result of working towards them. If something comes to us easily, a lot of times it's not worth having, and a lot of times we might not appreciate it as much as we do when it is something for which we have hoped, for which you have set goals, and for which you have achieved. So I wish you all the best in this month end, and I hope that your goals are going to be met. And the good thing is that whenever we reach our goals and with every PV that goes through our business, we know that we are making life better for someone somewhere. Thank you very much. And sorry for the questions that I did not get to because I had questions from previous times. So just be assured that at some point we are going to answer your question, either to you personally or in the next Q&A. I want to hand you over to Pascal now and to thank you very much. And we'll see you again next Thursday, God willing.
Thank you very much, Betty. I see there are many questions. I hope Paul will be able to keep a record of these questions, and then they can be addressed in the next training session. So today I want to discuss a few things with you. Life is very funny. Only this year in January, you were thinking 2021 is new. We are going to have a lot of things changing. COVID will be out of the way. Today is already the 30th of September. 3/4 of this year has already gone. So we've got 3 more months to the end of the year. So I want to give you a few ideas on how to end the year in a wonderful note. The first thing I would like to discuss with you is how to build your business so that it becomes stable and strong as you grow in the business. And what does that mean? It means that, you see, what is our business? Our business is when we move products from Neolife to different customers. Those customers may be ourselves, or it may be our customers who are not in the business. That's what we do in our business. We need to move products from Neolife to different people. And when we do that, we earn an income. So what is the core of our business? Or what is the description of our business? The description of our business is when you get a large number of people doing a few things every day, that is talking to people about our products over an extended period. So what you're actually doing, you are getting customers for Neolife, but building a team of users, and in return, the company pays you a commission. That's what we do. So the first part of this training is I'd like to discuss with you how to do a PV unit, because 200 PV, 250 PV as personal PV. You see, you start earning commission from Neolife when your PV has reached 250. Of course, we know that we have to do 100 PV in our own name, and then we need to reach 250 as a group PV. So how do you build a 250 PV? Think about this. If you have 20 people in your group, and each of them is doing 250 PV, that's 5,000 PV. That's a director volume, okay? Not everybody reaches 250 PV. In fact, I think that if you want a stable director volume of business, you need between 40 and 60 distributors actively working in your team. Now, let's see how you're going to get to build a 250 PV unit. 3 things are required to retail products. If you really want to be good at retailing products, you need to build 3 basic skills. The first skill is listening to your customers. Listening to customers means that when people talk, you listen to what they are saying, even to what they are not saying, because when you observe their physical body, you can detect whether they are well or whether they are ill, whether their energy level is low or their energy level is high, whether they've got something they are complaining about, but they don't know how to explain to you. So the first skill you need to develop to retail products is called listening skills. And listening is not an easy thing to do. If you have a family, try this exercise this evening. Get one of your family members and tell them a short story, just 2 minutes, away from everybody, and ask them to repeat the same story to other members of the family. You will find that after the second or third person, the basic of the story has completely changed. Why? Because we don't listen according to what we hear, we listen to according to who we are. So listening is not an easy skill to master. And people who learn how to listen become extremely successful. So learn how to listen to your customers' needs. Number 2, you need to have product knowledge. Why is this important? Because when you have product knowledge, it's easy for you to link between our customer needs and the products we have in our business. For example, if somebody keeps talking about having low energy, they walk as if they're dragging their feet, they're walking as if they're stooping, you know that person's energy level is very low, and they might need Pro-Vitality or 3NN. Okay, so you need to have product knowledge, not details, but basic product knowledge. That if you get somebody with diabetes, you recommend 3NN and botanical balance. If you get somebody with arthritis, you recommend omega-3 and chelated calmag. So that basic knowledge is good for you if you're going to retail products. The third thing is you need to build good customer relationships. What does that mean? If you've got a customer who has been buying a lot of products for you over an extended period, get to know them. Find out what their birthday is, find out about their family, note down when they bought the product. You'll be able to guess when they will need the product the next time. Because if you treat your customer well, when they want to spend money, who do you think they will think about first? They will think about you. So you need to master or build good relationship with your customers. Now, how do you build a 250 PV unit? I've given you an example here. For example, home care. Home care products, I think our best-selling products in home care is LDC and Super 10. Maybe in East Africa, Supergrow also is a very high-selling product. So for the home care product, if you get 2 customers to buy LDC and 2 customers to buy Super 10, that's 40 PV. If you also go to the disinfectant care solution, that's another 20 PV, that is 60. Let's go to the healthcare range. Healthcare, diabetes, 3NN and fiber tablets. Okay, I think now this changes to botanical balance. My apologies, I haven't updated these notes. So botanical balance is a good product for diabetes. High blood pressure, omega-3 and garlic, ulcers, aloe vera plus and chelated zinc, arthritis, CalMag and omega-3, prostate, cruciferous plus. So if you know what the products do, it's easy for you to recommend the right products to your customers, and this is how you build your PV up to 250. Now, don't wait until month end to be able to do this. I would suggest start early in the month, break your month into 4 weeks. Each week aim to do between 60 and 80 PV, so that by the end of the month, you've already reached your goal of 250 PV. If you do that consistently, you will find that it becomes a habit of doing 250 PV. Now, the reason why we recommend 250 PV is because our business is built manager by manager. What does that mean? It means that once you reach a manager, you sponsor 3 people with the goal of teaching them to be managers. That means 3 people plus yourself is 4 times 250 is 1,000 PV. That's a qualified senior manager volume. The next thing is you need to help these 3 people also get their 3 people to do 250 PV. You will have 3 senior managers. That is a executive manager volume. And that's how you eventually build a director volume and a Ruby volume and eventually a president's team. So I would suggest that think about how to do 250 PV, have a plan for it, and if you have the product knowledge, you'll be able to do 250 PV quite well. But how do you maintain your business to grow even when you're not there? I was speaking to a friend of mine this evening. Oh, my apologies. I've been told that the font of my screen share is very, very small. Let me see if I can adjust it. My apologies. Okay, give me one moment. Okay, I will go back to the previous screen just to enlarge it so that it's more visible. Okay, I think that is now more clearer. Let me go to the previous one. I think they're speaking about this one. Okay, just a moment. Let me see if I can increase the font. Okay, I think that should be better. I don't know if you can, if there's anybody who can say that it is the. Oh, just.
Pascal.
Yes.
Pascal, you can start sharing now, but yes, you make it a slideshow.
Oh, okay. All right, just one moment. Okay, this thing, just one moment.
There's a slideshow after animation on your screen.
Okay, there it is.
Then you go to you can go to the current so that it can take you to the one you were using. Just next to the beginning, there is current.
Okay, is that better?
Perfect now. It's okay, Pascal. You can continue.
Okay, thank you so much. My apologies, team. Let me just let me run through it again on how to build a 250 PV unit. Three things are required to become a very good at retailing products. The first thing is you need to develop the capacity for listening. Listening simply means that when people speak, look at them straight in the eye and observe their body language. You're going to hear not only the words they're saying, but the feelings and the things that they may be holding back, because listening is a really good skill to develop. So you need to hear what they're saying and also to anticipate what they're not saying through their body language, okay? The next thing that you need to do is to have product knowledge. I think Becky has been giving some excellent sessions on product knowledge, because once you have product knowledge, it means that you're able to link what our products do and the needs of your customers. I gave quite a number of examples here. For example, if you've got somebody with ulcers, we recommend aloe vera plus and chelated zinc. Somebody with arthritis, chelated calmag and omega-3. And also, if it's osteoarthritis, then you can add full motion. If you have somebody with high blood pressure, you can recommend garlic or omega-3 and lipotropic agents. Diabetes, botanical balance, tree, and so if you have product knowledge, it's very easy for you to recommend the right type of product. What I found to be very, very effective for me is to always say, when I was speaking to you the other day, I noticed that you are limping, or whatever it is, whatever you noticed. Then you ask, can you share with me what you're going through? The person will be able to tell you what they're going through. Then you can suggest the product that you think is suitable for them and tell them, look, I want to recommend this product for you to try because I think it will make things better. Okay. Then the last thing is build good customer relationships. Building good relationship with customers simply means that when your customer wants to spend money, they think first about you, because I read a quote that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And the way you make people feel leaves a very lasting impression in their mind. Okay, so build good customer relationship. The next thing is, if you want long-term success in our business, you need to make full use of the business system. All right, I was saying earlier that I was speaking to a dear friend of mine, and we were talking about how to build a business, and I made a statement that arrested their attention. That you need to move away from using your personal skill to build a business and using the system. What does that mean? It means that when you want to invite people to see the business, don't spend 20 to 30 minutes trying to explain the business. Just tell them, look, we've started a business. I'd like you to come and have a look. We have a professional presentation every Monday at 8 p.m. Kenya time, or 6 p.m. Nigeria time, or 7 p.m. South African time. Somebody more experienced is going to explain the business. Or you say, please watch this CD or this DVD or read this magazine. Let's talk after that. You see, what you're doing, you are using the system to be able to do the work which we should be doing, because the DVDs, the CDs, the magazines, the brochures are professionally prepared because you don't have to do it yourself. Secondly, the business opportunity presentations gives social proof about what the business does. So try and use the system as much as possible by speaking less and asking more. That goes back to the first thing I was talking about, retailing product. That is our capacity for listening to people's need. But what is our business system? Our business system has the following elements, or the following things that help your business to grow with or without you. First of all, you need to be enthusiastic about the business. You will never convince anybody about this business unless you're convinced yourself. And that comes through from your personal enthusiasm. Personal enthusiasm simply means that, you see, the word enthusiasm comes from the word entheo, which is a Greek word for the God within, the life that comes from your heart and your soul that attracts people to you and eventually to the business. You need to have personal enthusiasm. The second aspect of our business system are the tools. Third-party, we call them third-party tools. Third-party tools means that the tools which have been professionally prepared by the company or your top leaders that you use to give to your prospects to have a look at. Videos, CDs, magazines, brochures. So make this, in fact, the people who will grow the business, the largest businesses, are the ones who share tools more than anybody else. That is the ones who send videos to prospects, the one who gives magazines, the ones who give brochures. Then weekly business opportunity presentations. These presentations are organized so that you can get a group of people together and somebody who is well trained to do the presentation, present the business on your behalf. Your job is to be able to invite correctly to the business presentation. The fourth element about our business system is weekly training events like this one, where we come together to learn about the business. Okay. Number 5 is the monthly recognition rally. You see, one of the things that every human being craves for is to be recognized. You know, in the job situation, most of the time, bosses are waiting for you to do the wrong things. In our business, we are waiting for people to do the right thing so that they can be recognized. The sixth element of our business system is the annual near-life convention. For example, the one that is coming, I think at the end of October, 31st, or is it 30th of October? We are going to have the annual convention in Dar es Salaam. Okay, so the annual convention, that is for East Africa. In Southern Africa, we've already had ours. So take advantage of this convention because some people make decisions about their future at this convention. When they see people going on stage, being successful, they are inspired to take the business seriously. Then the annual team weekend rally, that is when distributors come together to share their experience on a Saturday and a Sunday, so that I remember for Betty and myself, the thing that really changed our mind about the business is we joined the business at the end of March. And then we attended our first rally in July, where I saw 4,000 people excited about the business, people from different walks of life. That's when the penny dropped for me. And from there, our life has never been the same. Then you need to have small team incentives. I think each team leader think about having incentives for your group so that you can inspire your team. Apart from the incentives that the company has, have your own personal incentives for your team. This is what you have as a business system, and use it as much as possible. You see, when you make the business, don't make the business about you. Make the business about the system. The group of people, the events, the tools, the meetings we have, this is what supports your business to grow, so that in your absence, your business can grow. But you see, you also have to take personal action. The business system will help you to grow your business, but you have to do your part. And what is your part? Your part is you need to do the 4 basics: name list, invite, show the plan, to follow up. You know, sometime last year, I was reading about this business, and it came to surprise that the average network around the world, 48% of them do not follow up with their prospects more than once. That is strange. So the people who learned how to follow up their prospects are the ones who can become very successful. I think the other reason is it takes people a lot of time to make a decision. Why? Because human beings are creatures of habit. And because they have had a habit of making decisions in a specific way, to make a decision that causes success is a different thing, because the first thing they'll be required to do is to change. You cannot succeed in this business unless you learn how to change. So that's why you need to follow up with people so that they can actually make a decision to join the business, you need to read daily. We cannot emphasize this more than we have. Daily reading and listening to CDs, because you need to flood your mind with positive material, because there's a lot of negative things going on around the world. Then using and retailing products. These are the things you need to do yourself personally, and also use the system as much as possible. There are three months to go until we reach the end of the year. So you have October, November, and December. I want to suggest, for those of you who are listening, at one point we were 385 people on this meeting. I want to suggest to you, if you're a new distributor, if you've been in the business for a long time, I'd like to give you what is called a 90-day challenge. That means the next 90 days, I want you to pull all stops to take this business seriously to the next level. And the first step is to actually mentally prepare yourself, clear your calendar. It means sit down and write down the things you do on a daily basis. Ask yourself, these things that you're doing every day, how many of those things are leading you to your goal? How many of these activities you're engaged in is increasing your bank account? How many of those activities is making your life or your future better? So the first phase of this 90-day challenge is get together with your group, identify distributors who want to take part, who want to commit, and say, for the next 90 days, I want to give this business my best. If you're part-time or full-time, I want to give it my best. Part-timers, put aside 2 hours a day. Full-timers, 5 to 6 hours a day. And when we talk about going out full, it means that every single day you speak to, if you're part-time, between 3 to 5 people every single day you show the business. If you're full-time, 10. Okay? The next thing is, each person who is going to take part in this 90-day challenge, you need to have a name list of at least 100 prospects. Then meet together and share this idea that we want to go on a full out during the next 3 months so that you end the year in a high note. Then mentally prepare yourself to go full out to build your business. From the studies I've seen and from my own experience, if you really put tremendous effort and you go full out the next 90 days, the momentum will carry your business for the next 3 years. Okay? Phase 2 is now the second week. You need to meet weekly to set up appointments. That is, you set up appointment to show the business to your prospects as a team. Every week, meet and share weekly success and experiences during the week, and reward the people who are doing work. For example, if you've got 10 people or 15 or 20 people who have committed themselves to do this 90-day challenge, if one of them has talking to 20, 30 people in 1 week, give them a small incentive. They need to do this because it keeps people focused on the business. And then you need to plan daily activity. Have a daily activity to get involved in income-producing activities. Those are the things that help your business to grow. Talking to people, to customers, to prospects, to your own distributors. And you need to do visualization and affirmation. Visualization simply means you create mental pictures about the end result you want. Don't create mental pictures of the things you do not want, because that causes worry. Worry is when you create mental pictures of the things you do not want. So create mental pictures of the things you want at the end of this exercise. Then monitor your activity on a daily basis. If you plan to speak to 3 people today and you didn't speak to 3, what happened? Be accountable to each other. You see, if you, for example, specifically the leaders, if you've got a team and you're doing the 90-day challenge, be accountable also to your group. So that when you become accountable to each other, there is more power in the group. Phase 3 of this activity is the next 8 weeks. Next 8 weeks, you just go full out to show the business to as many people as possible about what we are doing. There are very many people who are looking for a business, but you need to know how to invite them professionally to the business so that they can make a decision. Then every month end, have a small incentive for your group for the month end. And then target a big event after 90 days for special recognition. You know, normally Neolife has a beginning of the year event in every region. So you need to target an event like that so that you can recognize the people who are going to put the effort in the next 90 days and sell this event to everybody. Recognize top performers. If you do this, if you put every effort in the next 90 days, your business will never be the same again. This I've seen in our own business. When we started the business, the first 3 years we worked extremely hard, and that's the work we did the first 3 years carried our business for about 15 years. So make sure that the next 90 days, speak to your upline leader, sit down, plan to do a 90-day challenge that will get your business to grow to a next level. So I know today is tomorrow is month end, and distributors are looking for their final step to achieve the goals for the month of September. I wish you well so that you achieve your goals. If you didn't achieve your goals, go back to the drawing board, plan again, take advantage of the 90-day challenge, and I'm sure you're going to have a very good finish for this year. So Paul, back to you.
Wow, thank you so much, Pascal and Betty, for taking us through that session. The Q&A was quite interactive, and I've seen so many people ask so many questions. So I'll be able to summarize them and send them to you and Betty so that we can be able to pick them on the next session. So we just want to thank you so much for such a session. Being the end of the month, as we have said, I know we have been able to pick one or two things which will be able to help us with month end as well. So tomorrow, being month end again, we are going to remember it's the last day for you to do 100 PVs and also to sponsor somebody for the month of September. So make sure tomorrow all your 100 PVs and all the kits that you have for the month of September, they are with us before the close of the day. So I just want to thank each and every one of you on the call. We could be having some guests for you to be able to know more about this opportunity. We just want to ask you to speak to the person who invited you here. They'll be able to share with you. You can be able to be part of this company of Neolife, and the products that you have been able to see, you'll be able to get them at a discount. And through the kind of training that you have been able to listen to today, you'll be able also to build a business, just like the person who called you to this meeting today. So I just want to thank you for being part of this meeting and, taking notes. I've been able to see people taking notes and really listening keenly. So because of month end, tomorrow we are going to skip our Friday Swahili session because some of the countries, they'll be closing at 8, the same time when we normally start our Swahili session. So we're not going to have it tomorrow so that you can be able to have all the time for you to be able to close the month on a good note. So we just want to thank you so much and wish you a wonderful evening, and see you tomorrow as we close the month, and wish you the best as you do so. From me, Pascal, and Betty, we want to say good night, each and every one of you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, Pascal. Good night.
Good night.